my dear listeners and watchers, and welcome to the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show, your go to destination for insightful discussions on navigating career paths and unlocking professional success. And today, we are thrilled to bring you a special episode featuring Dr. Rajev B Sharma, a distinguished EduVenturist and the Group MD and CEO of Tasa Global Group. Join us as we delve into his remarkable journey, gain profound insights into the world of studying abroad, and uncover the essential tips and advice to help you chart your path to academic excellence and career fulfillment. It's time to embark on an enlightening and empowering conversation that could shape the trajectory of your future. So, let's welcome Dr. Rajeev B. Sharma. Hello, sir.
Hello, Kapilji.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
And yes, I'm so honored to see you here for accepting my invitation to be part of this podcast. And I'm sure our listeners and watchers will greatly benefit today. And as I have already mentioned, that Dr. Sharma is the Group MD and CEO of Tasa Global Group. His illustrious career spans over 3 decades, marked by his leadership in the realms of education, HR, and finance. He's the visionary behind several impactful ventures, including Tasa Global, Tasa Study Abroad, and Karreerpath, to name a few. With a diverse background in engineering, an MBA, and a doctorate, Dr. Sharma embodies the epitome of an education entrepreneur, seasoned leader, and technocrat. His commitment to impacting the lives of 5 million youth through his ventures underscores his unwavering dedication to purity of purpose. Today, Dr. Sharma joins us to share his invaluable insights into studying abroad, guiding aspiring students towards a brighter future. And be ready with your noting equipment, as this episode will have tons of valuable nuggets for you to note down. So, over to Dr. Rajiv Sharma. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. I'm sure I'm so excited today to see you on my podcast. I'm sure this will be a golden podcast for all those study abroad aspirants because you will give first hand knowledge for students. And so, how are you feeling to be here?
I'm feeling very excited, Kapilji. And there is one called Kapil Sharma Show, and there's a now Kapil Gupta Show. So I'm at least I've not reached Kapil Sharma Show now, but I've reached Kapil Gupta Show. So
Yes, sir.
thank you very
Yes,
much for
yes.
calling.
And so it's the honor is all mine because I've been following you for so long, but now even I'll get to learn a lot through this podcast. It'll be a learning for me as well. And this will be a way that I'll be able to peek into your life journey.
Yes. Thank you very
So,
much.
without wasting any more time, I would like to, begin with this. And as is customary, that I want to know about your journey. So, because you have such extensive experience in the education sector, so I would like to know what motivated you to, go this way to establish study abroad and Tasa Global Group.
So it's a Kapilji. It's a very long story, but I've tried to shorten the story. Um, After my engineering and MBA, I always, so in fact, after my engineering, I always believed in the story of India. Uh, in fact, it's irony that I'm currently helping kids to go abroad, but I personally did not want to go abroad. I got
Okay.
admission then for my MBA in Georgia Tech, one of the leading university then. But I said that if I leave, and this I'm talking of 35 years back, okay, 32 years back, I said, if I leave, um, I would not be able to come back, right?
Okay.
And I need to be here and do something in India. So that's why I decided to do my MBA in India. And as I kept on working, as you know, that for the first 10 years, I worked in a company called LabTech, which was the international
Mm.
Indian MNC in the space of education. And then I worked in the space of finance with the topmost companies. But something has been on my key. How can I contribute? How can I contribute? So in around 2006 7, see, I'm a very vervous reader, but in 2006 7, I came in connect with Dr. Abdul Kalam, okay,
Okay.
and his books and other people. So one sentence of mine, which actually started triggered this thought, what I'm talking today. He said that the biggest challenge to India is not poverty, it is educated unemployed youth. He
Right,
said that
right.
is a bigger challenge than poverty. So that started made me start thinking what could be done in this space. Okay, by the way, unknowingly, very early, around 8 9 years back, unknowingly I had bought a big land in my place where I study, spent most of the time, Baroda, for making a school. So it was there in part of mind कि at some point of time I will impact the youth. But उस time वो जो धुंधला बोलते हैं, I'd like I
Hmm.
was thinking of a school, and कि I need to share my experience and thing that was in my mind. But then Dr. Abdul Kalam said, no, it has to be much bigger. Okay, a school will impact 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 students. What can I do to impact lakhs of students from this part of the world, especially India? So that was first trigger which came. Then when I probed further, the second thought which when I researched and found out was that India as a country, and obviously I'm a very, very strong patriotic India. It's not that anybody else is less, but I have a very, very strong feeling in terms of contributing. Much more, I always believe in punching above my weight. Okay, that's has been my concept all the time. So when I looked at India has been a superpower earlier. Okay, but our superpower is it's a soft superpower, right? Unlike
Yes.
US, which is a hard
Y-
superpower through dollars, through military, their control. Ours has been soft, superpower. I said, what are the if you look at the three areas where India has a has a chances or can become a superpower? What are those three? First is through our spirituality. So, for example,
Right,
yoga can really change the world. It is changing the world. The second is obviously your Bollywood and movies. Okay, and the
right, right.
third, and the third is our youth, our people. So this is soft power. And if you see, the top 500 companies in the world, they say of the top seven IT giants, two of the companies being headed by an Indian. Now a country also is headed by an Indian, like UK, right? Uh, all of this said, okay, okay, this is the second area for me. Then what I what I did, I said, key. Okay, see, there are paths. I said I need to find my purpose. So by that time it was 9 10 from 2009 and 10, I found my purpose. Okay, see, you have a passion, but the purpose is the highest area where you can be. So I find my purpose. I need to do some work in the space of education and international education. So that's where my thought process of TASA, study abroad and global, this group came about. So I'm cutting short my, let's say, long story into small one, where but now it's not a business for me. It's my purpose.
Right, right. Very true. But once you told me that you went on to setting up the private university, can you just share some details about it? What was that journey about?
Right. So this was the time when I was working with Aptech.
Okay,
Okay. Aptech is an Indian multinational, and I was still working. I was not on my own. And this is year 2000. Now, I've been, handling Aptech worldwide, but I could clearly foresee that the formal education was coming over, right? And the future was formal education. Aptech was an informal education. Now, currently we call them vocational companies, but it was an informal education. There was nothing called
right.
vocational then at this point of time.
Uh,
So when I said, and the Private University Act had just come up in few states. So there was some deemed university, there were private colleges, but there were no university. University was supposed to be of government.
right, right.
I said that this is a very good way where I can take AppTech and change the way. And as you can understand, I come from, let's say, vocational education or a training company background. Employability is the topmost in our mind because we don't have the didn't have the luxury of giving a degree without jobs. Okay, so employment was the topmost thing. So at that time, this idea germinated in my mind. Let's make a university, and AppTech at that time was a listed company. Okay, and not
Okay,
only listed in India, it was listed abroad as a GDS was listed. So it had to be something which had to be worldwide. So I created a business model where we took permission, made a university in India, first university. It was a very high end. tech university. Now we're talking of tech. At that time, I made a tech university specialized in the space of tech, made some five colleges, made some what I call is distance education or centers in 16 countries. And this entire thing was made. I raised money from UK, around 60 million pounds were raised. And but the challenge was heavy because it was uncharted view. To give an example, I even wrote the first statutes of the university. It means first I made a society because it has to be under a non for profit area. Made a
Okay.
society. So I was the secretary of the society. Wrote the first statutes with my own hand. It means the constitution, because a
Right.
university is like a country. So you need to make the constitution, how to raise the money, how to raise the funding. Though I had the backup, but I had to raise the money. Even the curriculum we made was very fantastic, very far focused. Even if you launch that curriculum today, if you learn it today, it is like it was 20 years back. I made it for today.
Okay.
That requirement. The faculty, it was very difficult for faculty to convince to move from a state colleges to a private university.
Right.
Okay, so everything was a challenge. Let me be, and it was a beautiful journey. Let me be very, very frank with you. It was a beautiful journey. I learned a lot. I met a lot of some beautiful people, very knowledgeable people. I was able to bring a lot of good, knowledgeable, esteemed people as part of the university. Um, and I thank my star that I got that opportunity. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, but Aptech was a really well-known name in those days, right?
Yes.
I
So
agree.
currently
And
also by different brands they have like Arena, Mac,
right.
Acme Academy. They're known, but they're all part of AppTech company.
Huh, they have diversified into different fields now, right?
Yes,
Because in those days, you are, as you rightly said, because when we used to do, let's say, graduation, then afterwards we were always looking for professional courses so that we can land up in a good job. So that was the scenario in those days, right?
exactly, exactly, exactly.
Okay, and you have multiple hats, right? So, and you being an engineer yourself, how do you envision the role of technology in shaping the future of education, particularly for students aspiring to study abroad?
Okay. Uh, First thing, it is going to change dramatically. It is changing, and in the future, it is going to change dramatically. Um, in fact, I was in one of the forums couple of days back, and one very esteemed panelist told a beautiful word. This is going to be pre Christ and post Christ. So this is going to be pre COVID and post COVID.
Post COVID.
That's what the difference. And the biggest difference is actually coming in the school education, right?
Okay.
In higher education, it is just folding. Okay, but the maximum difference has come in school, is going to come in school. The
Okay.
way the students are behaving is going to be very different. Okay, but let's say focus on higher education. In higher education, everything what we do in study abroad is changing. Okay, first, how do we attract students is changing. Earlier, very few, even if you had a website, that was more than sufficient for you to attract people. No more. Okay,
Hmm.
the way the Instagrams and your Snapchat and what on YouTube's and maybe like channel yours is what is coming up, right? To enlighten the student, give them information, help companies, university to attract or give their offering to the student. So first change is happening there, and it'll still change dramatically. Like I'm repeating to you, right? Then second is the one of the most difficult part currently is matching your program and university with your background, right? Your career. To just give
Right.
you example, the world has 17,000 universities and couple of lakhs of courses. Okay, for example, if you Google MBA, you'll have thousands of MBA coming in. Now,
Right.
which MBA from which university, what is right for you, it's a difficult proposition. So
Right.
I feel it's not coming yet. It's coming in. Lot of technology like AI and other things will be used to do your matching. Right? We are also working on the same. So second, your matching of your program and things like this will come. The third, applications. I still remember just before COVID, every day in my office, I used to get hundreds of bundles of applications, with all the documentation, all gone. It's completely become online. Okay,
Yeah.
completely become online. But I'm just talking 3 years. That difference has changed because you couldn't send the physical copies to, let's say, US and UK and Canada, right? Now it's completely online. So the process itself of application is changing. Then the student selection, you will be surprised, and this is for the students. Your CV and everything you make has to be very, very different now. It has to be SEO enabled, right? Because the first thing anybody chooses you is through your CV, which is done by a machine. It's not done by a person now. No more.
Right.
The machine
Right.
which is picking you up. Okay.
Yeah.
So even that, the student selection is changing. The course conduct, now it is accepted that a part of the curriculum can be online, right? In fact, if you know, in COVID, everything became online, become physical. But still, if you
Mhm.
go abroad, you can actually pick up one of your subjects if you're taking three subjects online and learn online. So the way the course conduct is also happening. And the most important, for this is for students, the definition has changed now. Earlier, if you knew the language, you were literate. अगर आपको लिखना पढ़ना बोलना आता था तो आप literate थे. Then came a era, and still which is running on, is digital literacy. If you know digital, that's your level of literacy. The latest which is getting added now, this I'm talking of next couple of years, is called data literacy. So
Right.
three languages of literacy is coming up. Not only sufficient that you read, write, and understand. Okay, you have to have digital literacy and a data literacy.
Right.
Okay, so the skills being required by the corporate changing dramatically. All right, and the message to all my fellow professors, counselors who are looking, that the way now the technology, the kids are going to use the technology is also going to be very different. We ourselves will have to change dramatically. So I think that the right description, before Christ, after Christ. So now this is before COVID and after COVID. Technology scenario is changing dramatically and it will change dramatically.
Right. Right. Agree. Fully agree with that. But now, see, whenever parents come to us, they have different concerns. And if I talk about youngsters, they are more into just going abroad. But parents have a different level of concerns because they feel it's very costly and the safety concerns are there. So, because obviously not every parent is in a position to go along with the child or even to drop him to the university as the criteria is, because somehow if we are just moving to different city, usually parents take along kids for the university as well. But when it's abroad, the thing is different because obviously there are financial concerns. So what advice would you give to Indian students planning to pursue higher education abroad, and considering these factors like choice of country, or the course selection, or even financial planning?
In this area, I have some strong views, by
Okay.
the way, compared to what is happening around.
Hmm.
And I've been holding this view from last 5 years, and I'm finding it getting now endorsed abroad. And what's my view? See, when you go abroad, you are going abroad for your career, right?
Right.
Though I accept there are set of people which are just going for a heck of immigration. So I'm not talking of that customer. See, there
Mhm.
are three levels of customers or people going abroad. One who just want to go for immigration. Second level, people who are from average plus. Okay, they want to go to study abroad so that they can get a job there. Okay,
Mhm.
and there are topmost students which only want to go if they get into their dream university or the topmost university what they want, which really makes it. So there are three level of people. Okay, this what
Right.
I'm seeing is more prevalent for level 2 and level 3. Okay, for level 1, whichever country gives them the easiest immigration. Like earlier, it used to be Canada. Okay, earlier, by the way, it was US, then Australia, then Canada. Now something else will emerge. So that will keep on happening. So this is advice for level 2 and level 3. So for these people, why you're going abroad? You're going abroad for your career, right? Uh, so it is important. The first area you should look at is your career. So choose
Okay.
your career. Okay. By the way, we have a scientific tool through which we help students to find what could be the best career for which they are born. Okay, we call
Okay.
it a brain mapping tech and technology
Uh,
which has created.
right.
But after what you find out, if what your right career you want to make your career next 20, 30, 40 years, The second area for you is look at a program. Find out what could be the best program to add to that career of yours. Then go for university, right? And in university also, I don't recommend just look at the overall ranking. Look at the ranking of your program because you are going for that career. That's more
Right.
important, right? And then look at the country. So country for us comes the last. That's point number one. So our point of view is dramatically different compared to the normal way,
Mhm.
which is current happening. And I'm a very strong advocate to this. Now, if you look at the universities abroad, everybody, and in fact, there's a back-to-back surveys have come in last 1 year where students have started giving career as the topmost importance. Okay, so that's the first thing what you need to do. Second thing, very important for the parents. See, if a kid wants to go to IIT or NEET, you start 4 years back. You start in ninth standard. If I'm talking of a school student, okay, why not for study abroad? It's also a career. It's also an area. So you have to start early. Our recommendation is minimum 18 months. I, or ideally 36 months. It means 3 years, 4 years earlier, you have to start preparing for your study abroad journey, right? Third, because as you start early, you can build up your profile. Build up profile for what? So that you get admission into better universities, better programs. This also gives times to the parents for financial planning. If you have 3 to 4 years for your financial planning, though we recommend still very early, but anyway, parents are preparing 3 to 4 years for study abroad. Financial planning is also a good time. So that's why planning earlier, this will also give you a lot of time to do your research. See, when you go to buy a refrigerator, how much research you do? You go online, you do this, you ask 10 people, you ask everybody. But here, when you're going to spend, and you're talking of your career, in fact,
Right.
I tell parents that a career decision, if not more, is as important as marriage for a child. जितना आप मैरिज के लिए बच्चों को ध्यान देंगे अभी क्यों नहीं बिकॉज आप जो
बिल्कुल।
करेंगे या वॉट एवर कैरियर द child is choosing is going to affect three generations, his own generation,
Definitely.
his parent generation, and his family, the child's family. At some point we're going
Right.
to happen.
Right.
So when you do research, see, then this elimination of safety factors, all of this happens, and obviously uh, you can do a limited research, okay? And then obviously people like us come in, which are global career consultants, where we help kids do much more, do deep dive, detailed thing, but early. I'm repeating to you, if you come late, you cannot do much research, right? जो हाथ
Right.
में आएगा, वो आपको करना पड़ेगा. So that's what we recommend to the parents. This is the way. So study abroad is not a decision instant, it's a planned decision, right? It's a planned career move what you're going to make. It's not an accidental, which is unfortunately happening for most of the people currently.
Right. Right. Okay. And at backstage, we were having, some discussion about, you were telling me about that tribe of advisors and all. So can you just shed some light on the significance of developing that strong ecosystem you were mentioning, that a tribe of advisors and community of career advocates, and how will it actually help youth in their journey, in their academic or professional journey?
Right, right. Thank you. And It's a very interesting question. The reason, see, it's a very strong statement I'm making. The statement is that we are actually in our school system, we are setting up our children to become failure right from school. Why? In developed countries, a thing of career starts from fifth standards. Okay, you take Japan, Germany, USA. Okay, the government of India has recommended that for every 258 students, there should be one career counselor. India requires 19 lakh career counselors. Okay,
Okay.
India has only 1 lakh career counselors, out of which 18,000 are trained and certified. Okay, you happen to be one of them. The rest of them are designated teachers who have been made career counselors. So kids don't know in school, in college also they don't know. Okay, they choose career of some other reason than what their own potential is. Either it's parents which want, either for because of friends, relatives, Google. You talk of everything rather than a professional advice. Because with the
Right.
talk of careers, right? I'll give you one more data. See, every year 15 lakh engineers come out of India. Engineering is supposed to be the one of the best career path somebody can take, right? My 50% of people coming to me are students from engineering background. They don't want to continue post engineering after they've done that. Okay, now this entire thing cannot be done by me alone. So I have created a purpose. Ki I need to impact 50 lakh student, which is a 5 million students, what I'm talking of. Now that cannot be done alone. It can only be done with like-minded people. Hence, it is very important for us, for me, for the organization that we need to go together. वो होता है ना कारवा, अब कारवा बनाना
बिल्कुल,
पड़ेगा, करना है तो कारवा
बिल्कुल।
बनाना ही पड़ेगा. So that's why we have taken that we will have a tribe of advisors. I've given it a number, by the way, which I don't state on my LinkedIn. I'm looking at 10,000 advisors, active advisors, let me put that way, working with us, along with us, and helping this kid. By the way, India requires 19 lakh. I'm not talking about 19 lakh. I'm saying I hope some we do majorly, but I'm just talking of 10,000 of them. But
Right.
10,000 active making an impact. Even if one advisor impacts 500 students, job done. you
Job
know
done.
5
Yes.
million students, as for my purpose is concerned of my life, I think I would have achieved that.
Right. Right. Very true. Very true. And this is actually a very interesting way of, and it's interesting thought. And I'm sure if this gets implemented in the right way, it will make a huge, huge change in this sector and a great, help to the students because they will be able to approach career counselors in a much, much better way and a professional way also. And
It's professional way. See, the most important is a professional way.
professional way. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, what are the key skills and qualities that students should cultivate to thrive in an increasingly globalized and competitive academic landscape? Because you just mentioned that it's changing very fast. And so how is a student, now for example, a student is still at school, not aware of such changes taking place at the global level, so how he will get to know this?
Right. uh, this is, by the way, an excellent question, and uh, I hope a lot of people dwell on answer these questions along with me. See, first thing you need to accept, and which people have started accepting. Again, I will quote. I was in that ET education event, and by mistake, I went into the track which is a school track instead of the higher education track, right? And I heard speakers. Practically, I heard some 4 5 of them. Everybody was saying and accepting ki today's children are global citizens. So that's the first thing you need to accept. Ki
Right.
I am a global citizen. ओके मैं दिल्ली या बॉम्बे या कानपुर या गाजियाबाद या फरीदाबाद वहां का नहीं हूं. मैं एक ग्लोबल सिटीजन हूं, राइट? That's the first recognition you need to have. If you recognize that, so what we have done now, and it's a work in progress, but I'm just advanced in taking you. We are creating something called global employability quotient.
Okay.
Okay, we have
Interesting.
created already this test in pen and paper. Very shortly, it will be available for people for free. Okay, they can actually judge themselves ki how global employable they are. Okay, now just to give you a preview of that, these are 12 criteria on which we have said ki you need to be, if you want to be global citizen, a global employable person, in these 12 uh, areas you should be there. So I'll give you a couple of examples. But first, the curriculum or the course you are doing has to do with something latest, okay, which is future. Okay, so that's one area. Or let's say, apart from what you're learning in a college, you need to add skills which I call as micro degrees and micro certifications. Okay, by the way, micro degrees is our brand, as you could see in the background. Okay, one of the brands what we have. You need to add those skills which are for the future, because your course curriculum may not be able to change so fast, right? But you add those skills to that. Third, areas like, by the way, I'm first talking of college, then I'll go to schools. Internships, right? Very, very important. You need to have internship, and specifically if you can do some global internship. Even if you're not able to go abroad to do internship, virtual internship abroad will really add value to you. Okay. Next area is language and communication. Now, if you Google also and say what is the basic first thing you need to do as a global citizen, it will say language. So your communication and language has to be excellent. First level, ideally English. There's no doubt about that, because if you're going abroad, you need to have be good in English, and at least one more language. And especially if you're going to countries which are non-English speaking countries, apart from the four, typically everybody goes to talks of four major countries, which is US, Canada, UK, and Australia. But there are a lot of other countries which are good, a lot of European countries, Asia Pac countries, which have good education system, Nordic countries, where you can kids and go. So your global employability skills is going to decide. Now, let's say digital literacy was a global employability skill, let's say 1 year down the line. The
Hmm.
future, as I said, is going to be AI skills.
Right.
Okay. So that will keep on changing. But it means you keep on doing that additional certification for you to be latest abreast about that skill
Hmm.
which is coming up, which are short certifications. Right.
Right.
You see,
Right.
you cannot go back and finish off, do your engineering again. But you are a lifelong learner, which you can go about doing it. And you'll be surprised how things change. Everybody talks about soft skill. You know what is the topmost soft skill being required by the employers currently? Can you guess? Latest report which has come. Storytelling. Storytelling. Okay. Storytelling has is the latest soft skill a employer is looking for in a candidate. Okay, so things this will change, but then you have to learn. I'm talking of mine. See, my skills. I very early I was not a good public speaker. Then I became a public speaker. Suddenly, COVID came. All this platform came. I was able to talk, like I'm talking to you,
Hmm.
impromptu and things like this. But when it
Right.
came to recording, I had a cold feet. Okay, self recording. I learned that. Now you will actually find that in the last 6 7 months, a lot of reels of mine have come up.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
I'm still not at my best, but I'm trying to learn. So I'm learning the skills. When at my age, I am willing to learn the skills. Why not the students? Now coming to schools, see, there's a very clear way where the education happens in school, where the an education happens in colleges. In a school, you are taught to learn. It means that you are taught to keep on learning, whereas in college, you are taught to earn.
Right. Right.
Basic pedagogy difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a school, but a school children, right, they should just learn the basics, because they should never learn. In fact, if you look at any entrance exam, which is an international exam, even in India, what they look at the subject is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Okay. Even if you're giving a cat for your masters, okay, your count and verbal is what of 10th and 12th only, right? Even if you're giving GRE, GMAT, it's the same level. So till a school level, you keep on learning what is there, learn that adaptability. That's most important. Okay, so that you are able to learn, learn to learn. Let me put that way. You learn to learn. That's what a school education need to. Things will keep on changing so that you can keep on adapting. You know,
Right.
that's my
Right.
message to both school kids and the college kids.
Definitely. Definitely. And it's actually the right way to approach your career, right? And but still, there are many misconceptions, myths surrounding the study abroad, because uh, most of the information, I would say, a normal resident would have is through newspapers or through media, and it has all kinds of information, right? So and for example, nowadays it's about Canada, and people are now feeling as if it's this country is no longer safe for the kids. Then some incident might happen in US or Australia, and that might get so much exaggerated in the media that people have. So how to deal with that?
Right. Um, First, I think at some point you can have a look. I have created a series of reels on myths and the right answers. Okay,
Okay.
so I will talk a few of them here. See, there are few myths, topmost myths. Of course, security, safety, one of them. I will take that question maybe after two or three myths. But the first myth, okay, people have for especially study abroad, I'm talking of, that is only for rich people. Okay, it's
Yeah,
expensive.
right.
It's for rich people. The first,
Very true.
not so true. We as Tasa, we have programs right from 5 lakh rupees to a couple of crores rupees. So it's not, but there's a range. Point number one. There are a lot of ways. For example, we have a program. We are in Europe. We are able to get 100% scholarships to students, 100% including living expenses, right? Or let's say in some getting admission in public colleges, okay, where only living expenses required, which people can work. They are around 20 hours and work. So first, yes and no. It can be expensive. It cannot be expensive. It depends on the child. There are ways to go about doing it. One first basic myth. Second myth is only for bright students. Not so. Okay, there was a time where only IITians used to go abroad. No more, right? There are every level of colleges which are available, and mind you, average college or a university abroad is much higher compared to our level. I'm talking of quality of education, right? So, by the way, we all know that when you talk of quality, only some top colleges are taken care. The rest,
Mhm.
there's a need for improvement for them. They are doing it, but I'm saying, need for improvement. So it's not that needs to go. You need to write. Even if you are a above average student, right? There is a space for you. Third very thing, when especially people don't go for top four and other things, is, for example, Germany. Hey, I need to know German. No, your program is in German, but yes, while you're there, you should learn German. If you want to stay back, you have to learn that Latin language. Okay, don't you think it happens in India? If I go
Right,
to Punjab, right? If I have to stay back, I have to know Punjabi, no? If I go to
right,
Tamil Nadu, I need to know Tamil. It's not that for studying, I need to know Tamil. Because I'm
right.
going to an English medium school, right? So this is the perception they have. Then other perception, as I said, now safety. See, there are some rules for every country which you need to follow. Okay, I'll give you a typical example. New York, okay, one of the best cities in the world. Okay, everything, you've heard only good thing, but you'll be surprised that one street it is safe, but a street behind that is not a safe, which is known to local people. You should understand that. You should not try something else, right? In fact, about safety and these countries, I plan to make a very separate video on that, how to go about tackling it. I'm trying to bring in solutions. So
Okay,
safety, would you say that US is not safe? It is safe. One of the very
right.
safe countries in the world, right? Is UK not safe? It is safe. Okay, but you have to be, then there are local laws, local tradition which you need to follow. Okay, if you do that, then you're safe. And still something happened, then I can only say some unfortunate accidents happen everywhere. Okay, so there are a lot of myths. I have only tackled four or
Right.
five of them at this point of time. I think there are 13 14 of them, which I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, but now I want to add a few more things to it, because
Right.
there's one more misconception about the this cultural difference. Many parents, from uh, two-tier cities or three-tier cities, they are very much, averse to that cultural change. बहुत से लोग कहते हैं बच्चे बिगड़ जाएंगे. Now, what do you have to say on that?
uh, See, you have to and this is for the parents. As such, even if you don't want to, your kids are getting exposed today to what we call is not Indian culture. Are your kids not seeing OTT? Are your kids not seeing movies? Okay, they are seeing everything. Okay, so they know. You may be naive enough to say that they don't know. Okay,
Right,
important thing is that you have to build your value system of the child and your family. Okay, this helps people to take not only in the culture related thing, in taking decision in your life. See, beyond a point, you cannot control your kids. It's a fact of life.
right,
Up. सी हमारे जमाने में 21 साल के बाद बाहर जाने पढ़ने भेजते थे.
Hmm.
ओके, अभी बच्चे 18 के बाद अंडरग्रेड करने चालू हो जाते हैं. बाय द वे, एनीवे, आई माय father so strongly believed that I studied in a hostel post my 12th for my engineering, right? So you have to make your family values, and by the way, this is not nothing to do with study abroad. This is related to for your family and family values. Okay, make your help your kids to take right decisions. That's more important. See, there are, by the way, there are many blogs my partner colleague has written on especially school kids, young kids. There are different type of parentings. Okay, there's one type of parenting which we call as a denial parenting. कि आप मैं
Right.
ये मोबाइल नहीं दूंगा, टीवी नहीं दूंगा, ये नहीं करूंगा, राइट? आज के जमाने में चल नहीं सकता. आपके सामने नहीं है, पीछे सब हो रहा है, right? They are anyway going to school. Okay.
Right.
Other is you enable them to take the right decision. They should know the difference between right and wrong and what is going to affect them and their life and career. In our observation, when you help children make their career goal, make them abreast of it, उनको आप डायरेक्शन दिखा देते हो कि भाई तुम्हारा और उनका खुद के उनके साथ बैठ के आप बनाते हो डायरेक्शन,
Mhm.
तो बच्चा विचलित नहीं होता है. वो कभी कभी बात जाएगा तो वापस आ जाएगा वो. यू टू बिलीव इन दैट, राइट?
Right.
सो दिस इज अ बेसिक चेंजेस इन पेरेंटिंग, एंड इसका बहुत डीप रूटेड सर इंडियन ट्रेडिशन में है. आई विल गो बैक अगेन, स्लाइटली लॉन्गिश आंसर. अर्लियर वी यूज्ड टू हैव जॉइंट फैमिलीज. ओके, सो कोई ना कोई बच्चे का वो चाचा, मामा, बड़ा भाई, कजिन भाई, somebody used to be the guiding factor. वो उसका गुरु
Right.
होता था जिसको फॉलो करता था. आज अपनी न्यूक्लियर फैमिली, वी हैव न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज, one child or two child at best. Like I have one child now, whom they go to guide to, right? And usually there's a they either friends or parents are very friendly, or they are very strict. They went different style, different families. Now, whom do the kids go to? So they go to a friend of theirs as a guide. Now, he's also as young as this guy. What guidance they will be able to have?
Right.
Hence, it's very important in this era. Things like external gurus, which have, according to me, are career counselors or guides or right teachers, is become very very important. Somebody to guide a child, right?
Mm.
And one of the basic thing we should do for a child, in fact, we do our assessment and goal setting in eighth. We prefer doing in eighth standard. We
Right.
do it earlier also, but eighth you should do your goal setting of a child. उसको आगे अपना विजन देखना चाहिए, मेरे को जिंदगी में क्या करना है, what I need to do 20-30 down the line. And once we believe that the child is has his goal ready, okay, you are enabling him to take decisions, giving him the right culture, right input, right? Kids do well, they understand. Even if they go अगर थोड़ा एक step बाहर भी निकलते तो वापस आ जाते हैं वो. They come back because
Right.
when they say hey, they are missing their goal.
Right. Right.
So this is
Yeah.
my advice to parents.
And now I want to, share something. And in fact, I have shared with you multiple times in the past also. And this is something very close to my heart. As in India, whosoever goes for the science stream either wants to be an engineer or be a doctor, right? I have seen many parents saying that पहले साइंस ले लो फिर देखते हैं, ठीक है, बेसिकली ट्वेल्थ के बाद नहीं तो स्विच ओवर कर लेंगे. And I have seen multiple times students, opting, preparing for JEE or NEET, और अगर बीच में कहीं कोई डिप्रेशन में आते हैं, they commit suicide, they end their lives. I've always said multiple times in my reels also that instead of taking such a step, please come to us. We have multiple options. So what is your take on it? How easy it will be for them to do engineering abroad than opting for J in India, or they opt for medical uh, courses abroad? What do you have to say, and how can we help in a much better way such students?
So I will answer this in two parts, sir. Okay. First is a basic fundamental thing. Uh, मैं अपने सेशन में एक पिक्चर यूज करता हूँ, उसमें सब जानवर लाइन में खड़े हुए हैं, राइट? और उनको उनको बोला जाता है कि भाई आपको हिल तक जाना है. तो उसमें चीता भी है, जिराफ भी है, मंकी भी है, टॉर्टोइस भी है, क्रोकोडाइल भी है, सब लाइन में, राइट? नाउ आप सबको एक एम देके बोल रहे हैं कि भाई आपको इंजीनियर बनना है, डॉक्टर बनना है. नाउ कैन अ टॉर्टोइस विन द रेस? ही कैन नॉट. बट हिज टॉर्टोइस, क्या उसमें स्किल नहीं है? है. He's made for something else. See, in India, we look at only, I think at best, if you ask somebody, they will be able to count 7 careers. Internationally, there are 650 careers. Okay, that's the first thing. So please, it's a request to our to the parents. Every child has come with some skill. ये अपने पुराणों में भी बोला गया है कि हर एक बच्चा जब भगवान ने भेजा है, उसको कुछ दे के भेजा है. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा, ये अपने पुराण बोलते हैं. Right? Only thing you need to identify. And by the way, identifying through उसने क्या किया, मैं ये क्या करना चाहता था, मैं इंजीनियर बना नहीं बन पाया, या मैं इंजीनियर तू भी इंजीनियर बनेगा. ओके, ये सब आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. एवरी चाइल्ड इज डिफरेंट. Help and scientifically you can find out for a child what is his right talent and let him build his career. अब मुझे आप बताइए, सचिन तेंदुलकर के पेरेंट्स उसको बोलते कि भैया तेरे को इंजीनियर बनना है, डॉक्टर बनना है, तो कैसे बनता हूं इंजीनियर डॉक्टर?
Right.
नहीं बन सकता था. Right?
बिल्कुल.
He has been the greatest batsman which the India has seen or the world has seen.
Right. Right.
Right? So first, every child is different. Every child has skills, has some strength, and you can choose a career based on that. Point number one. That's the first thing we need to understand. Point number two. Yes, our entrance exam, especially engineering. So if engineering निकल के आता है बच्चे का, just give me an, या medicine निकल के आता है, okay. For engineering, it is comparatively easier than becoming a doctor. There are choices abroad. In fact, there are a lot of students. In fact, from your place, Delhi, I have sent 12 ke baad, and they, by 10th, they say कि we don't want to be part of this rat race. Okay, of this IIT. We want to become
Right.
engineer because it came, we want to be engineer, but not here. So we send them abroad, and obviously with a lot of programs, it was few could afford, few couldn't afford, so a lot of scholarship, lot of this, but you have to work on it. See, आप IIT JEE का आप 9th standard से चालू कर देते हैं. Okay, so those kids which are sent decided in 9th standard कि yes हमारा engineering है, but we don't want to engineering through IIT JEE.
Right. Right.
In fact, government of India, I will give numbers to you. Government of India says that 1 out of 4 children in school time and college time goes through a depression. See the data.
Wow.
1 out of 4. Okay. I'll give you one more very shocking data. Last year, and this is again Government of India data, uh, around 12,500 students did suicide. These are reported, huh? Non-reported.
No. No.
Last year. Okay, it means दिन में कितने हो गए सर? 365
Mm.
days, 12
Right.
12,000. So दिन में कितने सारे बच्चे सुसाइड कर रहे हैं? And
बिल्कुल.
this is just the tips of our part because these are reported, non-report
These
नहीं
are
हो रहा
reported. हाँ, non reported तो पता ही नहीं.
है. Every child is a. In fact, I have a brand which I'm not sure when I will launch. Okay, I'm not still ready for it. Maybe the market not. It's called nikatu.com. Okay,
Okay.
okay. I'm telling you, every child has got some talent. उसके लिए career है. Only identify that, right, and help him build that career. Give him skills in that career. Okay, और कोई career अच्छा बुरा नहीं होता. Internationally,
Right.
you will be surprised. The people who do vocational programs earn more than engineers and doctors.
Right.
In Canada, you spoke of Canada. A preschool teacher gets higher salary than a MS. A nurse gets a higher salary than a engineer. Okay, so
Yeah.
these are
People need to know
misconceptions.
this.
Yeah, I'm saying I want to add this as a misconception. There
Right.
are ways, and scientifically as possible है. पहले नहीं possible था. During my time and your time, we didn't have any of these scientific tools, but they're
Right.
available now. Make use of them. Make use of them. I
Right.
hope I think answered your second
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Because I'm actually, I always, whenever I read such a news in the newspaper, I always feel very hurt that I'm not able to reach out to them to help them. And that's the one big reason that I'm creating reels, so that somehow it reaches them and they get a chance to reach out to me, or people like me who can definitely help them. Right. And
Right.
thank you for this, sir. And lastly, what message would you like to convey to our listeners, especially those aspiring to pursue higher education abroad and as they embark on this transformative journey? Because even I feel that it's not only about education, but it's a grooming journey. The for an individual.
Right. So as I first told you, one of the first thing is start early. As I told you, जब आप IIT नीट के लिए जल्दी चालू करते हैं तो why not? It's like that only. Okay, so 3 to 4 years, what is required so that you are able to get admission into a college or a UST which is better. Kapil, you will be surprised. 95% of the students which go abroad go to a college or university below their potential. I'm repeating this to you. 95%.
Okay.
Okay, this has effect on your career. Now imagine you have studied from, let's say, let's talk of India. If you studied from IIT, or compared to your study from a, let's say, your nearby engineering college, is there difference in career? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the difference is what? Preparation. Please
Mm.
understand, the difference is preparation. Okay, so you have to prepare early, start early, and prepare well, because international admissions have the criteria are very different. Unlike India, one exam, like in IIT exam and your 12th, two criteria is will decide your admission, not
Right.
abroad. You have 9 to 13 criteria depending on the country and the university on which they judge you. So आपको उन सब में प्रिपेयर करना है. आप सब हाउस हम बोलते हैं प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग. You have to build your
Profile.
profile for that. Okay. Uh, but coming to study abroad, first, study abroad first is challenging. You all need to understand that. It's not easy. Challenging why? Because the education style is different. We are used to very spoon feeding style. Know that. Your classes, especially in masters, for many programs is not more than 9 to 10 hours a week. But for that, you have to study for 12 to 15 hours a day. That
Okay.
means some work you need to do. Okay. So education is different compared to Indian system. Okay. It's not difficult, it's different.
Different.
Okay. Second, even the style, the way it is taught, everything as I told you, is different.
Right.
The professor will just come and teach you concepts, talk about the concepts, go away. Give you some assignment which you need supposed to do in group or do something else on your own, you do all of those things.
Mm.
Then the country is different. Okay. Just an example, you are in north, आपको उठा के सीधा तमिलनाडु में डाल दें, where everybody, and not in Chennai, you in interior where people speak only Tamil, what will you do?
Right.
So language is different. Third, the culture is different. Okay, you spoke about culture, but every country has a culture.
Right.
Is that culture? There's nothing called right and wrong, but is that culture? Is the way the
Yeah.
people behave? You need to understand that culture. You need to
Yeah.
adapt to that culture. Next, the biggest challenge with our kids, food. Right?
Yeah. Food.
सबको problem होती है. Okay, food is very, so you need to know your food, try to adapt other food. That's why we recommend that every child, boy or girl, should learn cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, because cooking is, and I'm telling you by experience, food is one area. So food, weather, and the style of education, these are three which can actually lead kids to being disoriented in that country. मैं कहाँ पर आ गया?
Ah.
But if you prepare, no problem. Right? Sir, एक simple example. Again, I'm not being feminist, but कैसे बोलते हैं कि मैं ना, आजकल तो बच्चों को भी, लड़कों भी करता है, मुझे भी किया था, कि लड़की होती तो पहले कैसे मदर उसको ग्रूम करती है for a life after
Hmm.
marriage. This is
Right.
like this. You have to groom, you have to help your kids. Okay.
Right.
But this all teaches you what? Managing self. Okay. This journey of study abroad, very exciting, very wonderful, life changing. Okay. It opens up a very, very new world for you. Okay. And what it adds to your resume, it adds to your career, and it adds to your employer. ओके, आप एक बच्चा बाहर पढ़ के आया, आप एयरपोर्ट पे उतरेगा, उसकी आपकी चाल के कॉन्फिडेंस आपको फर्क पड़ता नजर आ जाएगा.
Right.
They are
Very
so
true.
adaptable because life has taught them, because everything they have to adapt ना, as I told you, weather से लेके खाना, language, रहना, study, everything is a challenge, right? हम इसको बोलते हैं कि comfort zone. When kids go out, you grow, and it's not for study abroad, anything. You only grow as a person when you move out of your comfort zone,
Yeah,
right?
very true, very true. And I'm experiencing the same thing in my son. In just 1 year of his education in Germany, he's altogether a changed person, much more confident that when he was in India.
It's a fact. क्योंकि सब कुछ डिफरेंस है ना सर, वहां कोई मम्मी पापा हैंडल करने वाले नहीं है. So again, for the parents, as you asked earlier question, ki the some mother father are, your child will be very different. Positive angle I'm talking of. The positives
Right.
are much more than the negative angles. So it's worth taking that. If I want to use the word called risk, or I don't know called risk, I don't know investment. It's worth taking that investment into your child for his
Right.
better future.
Yeah, right, right, right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for such golden nuggets. I'm sure whosoever, even the teenagers who are aspiring students, or even the parents who will be listening to this, or watching this video afterwards, they'll get first hand and concrete, workable information. And thank you for this. And as we draw the curtains on today's enlightening conversations with Dr. Sharma, it's clear that studying abroad is not just about acquiring academic credentials, it's about embarking on a transformative journey of personal and professional growth. And Dr. Sharma's wealth of experience and invaluable insights have shed light on the importance of pursuing education with purpose and passion, and while also emphasizing the need for resilience, adaptability, and a strong sense of purpose. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you, sir. And it was so
Thank you very much.
lovely to hear you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having here, Kapilji. All the best
Okay.
to
Thank you,
you
sir.
and the kids and the parents who are listening to this. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And if you have questions, suggestions, or just want to say hello, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help and engage in meaningful conversations with you. Don't miss out on the future episodes and valuable life insights, and subscribe to the Kapil Gupta Karreerpath show on your favorite podcast platform to stay informed and inspired. Help us reach more listeners by sharing it with your friends, family, and colleagues who might benefit from our discussions. And whether you are considering study abroad or already on that path, remember to stay true to your goals, seek guidance from mentors like Dr. Sharma, and embrace every challenge as an opportunity for growth. And with determination, perseverance, and a thirst for knowledge, the world truly becomes your oyster. Thank you again for joining us on the Kapil Gupta Career Pod Show. And until next time, keep chasing your dreams and carving out your own path to success. Thank you.